glove at all. The glove didn't have nothing for me. He said, I had other things on my mind. Now, as cool as that sounds, you have to give some credit to Gary Payton. I don't know what we're going to talk about what Michael meant by that, but I don't know if that's just entirely the case. Like, Gary Payton is a lockdown defender. In his prime, could lock down positions 1 through 3 on any given night. He was such a good defender, but for Michael to just laugh dead and basically dead in his face and be like, no, he had nothing for me. He could not stop me. And say he had other things on his mind. It's a little bit disingenuous, right? It's a little bit, to be like, okay, yeah, you might have had some things going on and weighing on you for sure, but Gary Payton did a good job in those 2 games, and he's the reason they won those 2 games. To be fair, Gary Payton is the reason that the Supersonics had a chance in that series. But Michael shakes it off, said, no, that's not what I had on my mind. So we get to Game 6, 95-96 championship. And it's Father's Day. And then you start to realize what Michael was talking about when he said, I had other things on my mind. Obviously, this championship to him meant so much to him because of what it would have meant to his dad. His dad had seen every championship before that. His dad had been there for really everything. And Michael had dedicated this championship to his father. And so with Game 6 being on Father's Day, obviously a pretty emotional Michael Jordan. They go out, they win the game, and Michael does a post-game interview where he does dedicate that championship to his father. And again, we're peeling back these layers of emotions that Michael has, and you're starting to see Michael actually cry on camera and become a little shaken up when he's talking on a live interview, when you'd never see him really do that. He was always stoic, always the perfect answer. But in this case, you're starting to see those layers of God-tier Michael Jordan being peeled back, and we're seeing the human. The guy that lost his father the year before and had rededicated himself to the sport that his father had been there for. Is this a recording? No, this is not a recording. We're live. But yeah, that's basically what you saw out of Michael Jordan. He got very emotional. He actually took the Larry O'Brien back to the locker room, and he's sitting there with a ball kind of covering his face, crying on the floor. And it's like, man, it's heavy. It's heavy to see a guy like Michael Jordan, who is at the top of everything and has finally gotten back to the top and won this title again, to be like, wow, 4 times he's done this, and this looks like the most important one to him. It was just very emotional for him, and he finally, I don't know if he made peace with his father's passing in that moment, or if he just did it and all the sacrifice and all the hard work and all the tyrant and the dictator kind of things that you'd heard from his teammates and how rough he was and how he just would not take losing for an answer. He was just win at all costs. Win, win, win. I don't care if I'm nice. I don't care if it's easy. I don't care if you guys like me. Let's just win. You got an insight as to why he was that way in that moment. So they win. Michael wins his 4th NBA championship, and right as that one orphan says, wow, the audio is amazing, camera amazing, this needs more love. Yo, the one orphan with the follow. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Orphan, man, I got to be honest. We had some people come in crazy trolling earlier, and it kind of shook up the podcast a little bit just because I don't understand it, to be fair to them. They came in with the crazy like trolly stuff, so it kind of got me off my game. But I appreciate the follow, man. That really helped out. Thanks for coming by, and I appreciate it. So basically, the documentary ends on Michael Jordan winning his 4th title, and they transition back to 97-98, and they are in the the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Pacers. And the series is about to start, and the Indiana Pacers at that time had Rick Spence. They had Reggie Miller. They had Chris Mullin that was bald, by the way. You never see bald Chris Mullin. And this team was stacked. This Pacers team was stacked. And I know in episodes 9 and 10, we're going to see that this is really a series that probably they should have lost. Like, that Pacers team was probably better than the 97-98 Bulls. But we're going to see exactly why they won that series. I don't want to spoil it yet, so we'll wait till episodes 9 and 10. Okay. So, yeah, that was episodes 7 and 8. I think the overarching kind of theme of these episodes were Michael Jordan's kind of inside the mind of Michael Jordan, inside the emotional status of a guy that is just constantly scrutinized, constantly overanalyzed, and dealing with the weight of the world basically every time he steps on an NBA court, to the point where he just got exhausted and tired and just fed up with the media, with the pressure, with the scrutinization, and left. And even then, he couldn't, really get away from it, but it did give him time. And part of that emotional journey was his father passing and him having to not only deal with that, but learn how to live without him and learn how to be the man of his family that his father was and taught him to be. And he did that. And he did it while averaging 202 as a minor league baseball player after not playing baseball for 14 years. I'm going to keep saying it because it's impressive to me, damn it. The guy doesn't play for 14 years. He comes back and his batting average is 202, and he drives in 50 runs. Come on, son. Come on. The GOAT, bro. Anyway, this was definitely an emotional journey for Michael in episodes 7 and 8. And the parallels between the 97-98 season and his journey back to basketball were basically the same things of him refocusing, rededicating one more time, right? One more time. Let's